Hey folks, it's Nate. Thanks for joining me once again as we look to the horizon, back bringing you our weekly writing vlog. And this week I have been spending a lot of time putting together a short story for Anvil Magazine. If you're familiar with the website Iron Age Media and Richard, who edits that, he also publishes a quarterly magazine now, and I have been trying to get a story published in that. My submission for the first volume was not accepted. Not surprising. Got a lot of submissions, and I hear they were all pretty good. Not to mention, my own submission was not as polished as I would have liked it to be. So I'm putting a little more time into this one. There was a little more warning for this one as well. The first one just sort of came out of left field. There was really only about, I think, 2 weeks where I even heard that it was a possibility before submissions were due. I've had more like a month and a half to work on this. So I've been putting together an idea in the background, and I got an outline done actually for this one, and I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through drafting it and revising it. So hopefully that will go pretty smoothly, and I will be able to make a good submission that will be worth running in the magazine next time around. That has eaten up a lot of my writing time this week. I have drafted out another half a chapter, I'd say, of A Candle in the Wind as well. Chapters in that are, I'm getting better, I think, at predicting exactly how long things will be from an outline, but they can always just sort of run away from you. That's just part of the writing process, of course. But I think I'm about halfway through chapter 7 of that, so doing pretty well, all things told. I think now that I'm to chapter 7, I think that story may wind up being 15 chapters, a little bit longer than I was originally anticipating it being. But there are a lot of characters to juggle, there are a lot of ideas to juggle, and I think I'm just going to need a little more space to unpack all of it than I originally anticipated. And that is probably going to turn a 15 thousand, 20,000 word story into maybe something a little closer to 30,000. We'll see. It will be a bit longer, I think, than previous Roy Harper novellas, but that is not really a bad thing for what is supposed to be kind of a culmination story for this first group of stories about the character. So, I think it's better to have more story than less. 9 times out of 10, of course, they say brevity is the soul of wit, but you also have to put together a complete thought and get it out there to satisfy your audience. If you don't have a complete story, then brevity is working against you. The idea behind that notion is, of course, that you want to say everything you need to say as efficiently and grippingly as possible. So I am trying to do that, but I think I am going to need a little more space than I had originally anticipated, because I believe my original estimate was 20 to 25,000 words, and I think I am going to overshoot that just at the rate I have been writing. So nothing wrong with that. A good 30,000 word story is still firmly in novella territory. You don't even get close to novel until you're around 40,000 words. And really, that is quite short for a novel. A lot of people, I think, would still consider it a novella. So I'm not too worried about turning what is supposed to be a novella into a full-length novel. I just think it's going to be a bit longer than originally anticipated. And that's what I've been doing with my time writing this week. It's been a lot of focusing on details and working out plot structure, and there's not a whole lot you can vlog about on that subject, I guess. If you're curious, yes, I will be playing into Anvil's theme for its second volume. It's coming out in the fall, Halloweeny times, and there was kind of a desire for creature feature stories, and it kind of is in that category. I don't want to give too much about the plot away, but it's not perfectly a creature feature, but it is playing around in that space, and it has some horror elements and some of that juicy revenge elements that make some of the darker horror movies a lot of fun to watch, at least from what people say. I have to admit, horror movies are not really my shtick, but I think you could consider this a horror story, or at least a creepypasta. But such things they're fun to play around with every now and again, but I think I'm probably going to shelve the genre, at least for a while, after I'm done with this. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. There's a like button and a subscribe button down there. You can use those as you see fit, and I'll talk to you later.